Hello YouTube. It was the great designer Ludwig Mies van der Rohe who once said, "God is in the details." Obviously he was not being literal. What he meant was, no matter how good the general idea, if you did not dot every I and cross every T, the design would still be less good. The clip of a fountain pen is an integral part of his design, so we'll have a look at its details. While there are lots of variants, we'll just focus on the mainstream ones. At first, all fountain pens were clipless. As the barrel, section, and caps, they were all turned on a lathe, and people rarely kept them in their pockets. Nevertheless, clips were offered as optional extras. Many of them by independent makers. These are called accommodation clips as they can accommodate different brands. The modern Kaweco is an example where the clip can slip over the cap as an optional extra. And there are makers of these accommodation clips for modern clipless pens who elevated these clips as an art form. When a clip became an expected part of the fountain pen, it still has to conform to the available manufacturing methods. The most sensible way is to cut a thread at the top of the cap, and a clip that ends with a round hoop or some kind of mechanism is fitted, and then secured by a screw-in cap finial. This method is so successful that it is still with us, and in fact, a mainstream design, available on pens at every price point. Other designs were also devised. The anchoring point of a clip can be like the prongs of a staple. They're put through corresponding holes on the side of the cap, and the prongs are bent inside the cap to secure it. In much the same way, some clips are riveted into position. While these methods fix the clips rigidly to the cap, some pens have the clip spring-loaded so that when used it would prevent the leverage causing the clip to distort or causing damage to the caps. When a clip is used, the tip is being pulled out, and due to lever action, it exerts much greater force at the anchoring point. So if a clip is held rigidly, the force is concentrated on a small area. So a suitably springy material is quite necessary to make it work. You can rely purely on the material itself to give that springiness. This example, it uses plastics, which works to a small degree, and this one uses spring steel, which works very well. However, if the material is too hard, it would exert too much force at the anchorage point, so if the material is not good enough, then it might cause some structural problems. Much of the same also applies to the type where the clip is fitted to the side of the cap, where the pull on a clip exerts a greater amount of force on the top edge of the anchoring point. If it is all metal, then it might be better, but if it's a plastics, then it might crack as a result. By nature, these clips are permanently fixed, so it cannot be removed if a clip's got bent, so sometimes this happens. So, by nature, the forces of operation is best dealt with by a spring-loaded mechanism, but it has to deal with some serious loads inside the cap by the additional parts. These caps tend to be all metal. Another aspect is the clip position. The clip position and its design determines how much of the pen sticks out the edge of the pocket. It can vary from sticking out a fair bit to practically nothing at all. So this would affect the ease of operation when you want to put it into the pocket or pull it out. In fact, in the past, the American Armed Forces required pens to have a maximum length sticking out of the pocket, as the pen must clear the covering flap over the pocket. Some pens are designed with clips secured by the cap finial, but due to the cap finial height, and the actual design of the clip, it determines how much is sticking out. The actual contour of the clip is also a consideration. In the 1970s especially, very sleek designs were quite common, and that also brought about slender clips with very little clearance underneath. They can make practical use a little bit tricky. A shirt or jacket pocket has several thicknesses of fabrics close to its edge. This means that they might not be able to clip to a pocket easily without experiencing some serious forces, which might even prise the clip to the point that the tip is not grabbing hold of the pocket. Some clips, however, are contoured with that in mind, leaving enough space for that part of the pocket and yet allowing the tip of the clip to hold on to the pocket properly. Here I have merely touched upon a small number of key points regarding clip design, but I think they should be a starting point for you to learn to make more astute observations and evaluations when looking at pens. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.